welcome back to part 3 video of chapter 1, Our Earth. In that, we are going to discuss about the Earth's grid system. Here we will see how the Earth is shown on maps and globes. Let us start this discussion with atlases. Here you can see the pictures of different atlases published by different companies. So the first one, that is National Geographic Atlas of the World 10th edition. Oxford Students Atlas for India 2nd edition is in the middle. And finally World Atlas by Philips. So different companies atlases are given here, and inside there will be some changes in the arrangement of the countries and everything, but there will be no changes in the matter. Now let us see what is an atlas. An atlas is a collection of various maps of the Earth or a specific region of the Earth such as US, India, Africa, Europe, etc. The maps in atlases show geographic features, the topography of an area's landscape and political boundaries, etc. They also show climatic, social, religious, and economic statistics of an area. So it is very useful for the geography students. You can find the latitude information in a well-produced atlas or online using Google Earth. Here is one of the example of how to find the latitude and longitude information. It is given in the back of the atlas where the places are listed alphabetically, similar to the way words are listed in a dictionary. For example, find the latitude and longitude information for the place Cobb. Find the place name Cobb in the list. Next to that, you will find the information about that place. This is a typical atlas listing. Dear students, here you can see an Oxford School Atlas. An atlas is a collection of various maps of the Earth or a specific region of the Earth such as US, India, Europe, etc. The maps in the atlases show geographic features, the topography of an area, landscape, political boundaries, etc. They also show climatic, social, religious, and economic statistics of an area. And here you can see the key difference between the maps and atlas is that map is the representation of an area of land, whereas atlas is a collection of maps. So here you can see a lots of different types of maps in an atlas. Now let us move to the last pages of an atlas. There you will find general index. General index gives information regarding the important places in the world. It will be in an order like place name, country, page number, then the latitude and the longitude. In the textbook, you are asked to find the location of Cobb. Now let us see where Cobb is found in the index. As you know, the index is given in an alphabetical order, and to find Cobb, we have to move to K. You can see Cobb here. Cobb is in the country of Japan, and we can see Japan's map in page number 63, and the latitude is 34.41 north and the longitude is 135.12 degree east. That is the location of Cobb. Now let us move to page number 63. It may not be same in your atlas also. Observe that in your textbook it is given page number 60, but in the latest edition it is 63. So it will change whenever the next new edition comes, the page number will also change. Here you can see the map of Japan, and you have to observe the map of Japan to find the place Cobb. Now here you can see the map of Japan and it is magnified, and there you can find the city Cobb, which is inside the red circle. You can find there, and Cobb is in the country Japan, and the page number 63. It may be different in different editions and in different atlases. Now let us move to another example, that is Vijayawada and it is in the state of Andhra Pradesh in India, and the page number 27. This is the page number 27. Here you can see the map of Andhra Pradesh where you can find the city of Vijayawada, and there you can see the exact location of Vijayawada in the page number 27, and the location is 16.31 northern latitude and 80.39 eastern longitude in India. Hope you understood how to use the atlas and find the longitude and latitude of a place and its location. The atlas you may use may present the information slightly differently, but these elements will be there. That means the atlas that you have and the atlas that I have may be different, maybe different companies or different edition, but the information that we get from the atlases will be the same. Here you can see the latitude and longitude values for some of the major cities in India like Mumbai, New Delhi, Kolkata, etc. And if you have an atlas with you, you can cross-check with the latitude and longitude values whether they are same or not. Here I have used the Oxford School Atlas, which is an Indian version. So what is the specialty of an Indian edition? That is, instead of the country name, whenever we select the Indian places, it won't be given there. Instead of that, the state's name will be given there. If we select any other foreign place's name, definitely the country name will be given in the place name. So if you search for Mumbai, it won't give the place name or country name as India. Instead of that, Mumbai is in which state? Yes, it is in the Maharashtra state. So that will be given. And if you have an atlas with you, just check that one. Now, as part of an activity given in your textbook, find the latitude and longitude values for the other places in the list of earthquake-prone places. Locate them on a world map. This will also help you to understand the Pacific Ring of Fire and its earthquake-prone places. Here is a map of seismic hazards map. That means earthquake danger zones are presented in this map, and you will be able to find the important earthquake prone areas from this map. Now let us have an idea about the Pacific Ring of Fire. The area encircling the Pacific Ocean is called the Ring of Fire because its edges mark a circle of high volcanic and seismic activity, that is earthquakes. Most of the active volcanoes on the earth are located on these circumferences. Here you can see in the map, this is the Ring of Fire, otherwise known as Pacific Ring of Fire. Here you can see in the second map, you can see almost all the most important volcanoes are located in this area. That is why this area is known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. Now let us learn about the important concepts sphere and hemisphere. Sphere means a round solid figure with every point on its surface is equidistant from its center. The Earth is nearly a sphere, not a complete sphere, because of the fact that the equatorial radius and the polar radius of the Earth is not the same. Now let us see how do geographers study about the globe and how they divide the Earth into two hemispheres. Hemisphere means half of a sphere. Based on latitude, the Earth or the globe is divided into two hemispheres such as northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Look at this picture. Here on the top, that is northern hemisphere, and the downside portion, that is the southern hemisphere. Based on longitudes, the globe is divided into two hemispheres. On the right hand side, that is known as eastern hemisphere, and on the left hand side, that hemisphere is known as western hemisphere. Here you can see the equator divides the world into the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Look at the map. This is the equator line, and that equator divides the world into two hemispheres. On the top side, that is northern hemisphere, and the downside portion, that is the southern hemisphere. Here you can see the prime meridian divides the world into the eastern and western hemispheres. Here in this map you can see this is the prime meridian, otherwise it is called as Greenwich meridian, that divides the world into two hemispheres, that is eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. On the right hand side here you can see that is the eastern hemisphere, and on the left hand side here you can see that is the western hemisphere. As you have learned well about the hemispheres, here is an activity for you. Just you have to fill this table based on this picture. Just observe this picture clearly and find out what are the continents present on each and every hemispheres and fill this table. Hope you have observed the map clearly and found out these answers. In the northern hemisphere, the continents found are North America, Europe, Asia, parts of South America and Africa. In the southern hemisphere, South America, Antarctica, Africa, Australia and some of the islands in Asia. In the eastern hemisphere, Asia, Australia and parts of Europe, Africa and Antarctica. And in the western hemisphere, North America, South America and parts of Antarctica, Europe and Africa are present. You might have observed the name of the continent which is present in all the four hemispheres. Here is the map of that continent. The only continent which is present in all four hemispheres is Africa. Here we are going to learn about the grid system. A grid is something which is in the pattern of straight lines that cross over each other forming squares. You might have observed the graph sheet. Otherwise, look here. This is a model of graph sheet and it contains x-axis and y-axis. The lines from x-axis and y-axis cross over each other and forms squares. So this is a grid. So on a globe, a network of latitudes and longitudes is drawn. This is called the grid. With the help of the grid, we can locate places and learn much about them. How hot or cold it would be there, in which direction should we go to reach it, and what time it would be there at any moment, so on. These informations we can get with the help of this grid system. This grid system is formed by the latitudes and longitudes. They are imaginary lines. Now let us have some more ideas about latitudes. The horizontal lines that goes around the earth are known as latitudes. The horizontal circle that goes around the earth exactly in the middle at equal distance from the north and south poles is called equator, because it divides the earth into two equal parts. This is the circle designated as 0-degree latitude. Following the way angles are designated in geometry, latitudes are expressed in degrees, minutes and seconds. In many atlases, you will not find the minutes and seconds. Here, observe this map now. The 0-degree latitude, that is known as equator, and the 23.5-degree latitude north side is known as Tropic of Cancer, and 23.5 degrees south latitude is called as Tropic of Capricorn, like that. There are 90 latitudes from equator to the North Pole, and from the equator to the South Pole also there are 90 latitudes. Now let us see how to draw the parallels of latitudes. Draw a circle and divide it into two equal halves by drawing a horizontal line in the center. Look at the figure 1. Here you can see this is the middle portion, and draw a line through that one. This represents the equator. Place a protractor on the circle in a way that 0-degree and 180-degree lines on the protractor coincide with the equator on the paper. Now, to draw 20 degrees south latitude, mark 2 points at an angle of 20 degree from the equator, east and west in the lower half of the circle, as shown in the figure 2. Look at this figure. Like this, two lines we have to draw with an angle of 20 degree. The arms of the angle cut the circle at 2 points. Join these 2 points by a line parallel to the equator. Here you can see this line is parallel to the equator. It will be the 20 degree southern latitude. In such a way, we can draw the north also, we will get the northern latitudes. So if we draw to the south, we have already learned that there are 90 degrees are there. So we will get 90 latitudes on the south side and 90 latitudes to the north side. Let us have some more idea about the latitudes. From the equator going towards the poles are a series of parallel circles. Each circle is called a latitude. Latitude comes to us from the Latin word latitudo, meaning width. These lines show us the width of the map. Latitude values range from 0 degree, that is equator, to 90 degree north, the north pole, and the 90 degrees south, the south pole. There is no latitude less than 0 degree nor greater than 90 degree. Every latitude must be designated with direction, north, N for north or S for south. For the equator, there is no north or south designation. Equator is the largest among all the latitudes. All the other latitudes on either side gradually become smaller towards the poles. At poles, the 90 degree north and 90 degree south are not circles at all. They are just points. Counting from one pole to the other, there are 180 main latitudes, not counting the equator. Now let us move to longitudes. Look at this picture. They are also known as meridians. They run north-south direction. Look at this picture. This is the north pole and downside it will be the south pole. So this direction it is moving and they are not full circles, they are semicircles. Latin gives us the word longitudo, meaning length, from which we get the word longitude. Longitudes show us the length or height of a map. Longitudes are not full circles. They are semicircles connecting pole to pole. Every longitude cuts across every latitude. Let us learn some more ideas about the longitudes. The longitude that passes through the astronomical observatory at Greenwich, England is called the 0 degree meridian or prime meridian or the Greenwich meridian. England decided that the Greenwich meridian will be the 0 degree longitude because they ruled the large part of the world at that time. Every country wanted to make their uh, standard meridian as the prime meridian, but England was the most supreme power, so they decided Greenwich meridian as the prime meridian. So here in this picture you can see this is the prime meridian or Greenwich meridian and it is connecting from North Pole to South Pole and a semicircle. There are 360 longitudes. Look at this picture. Here you can see a full circle. So a full circle contains 360 degree. 1 degree represents 1 longitude. So there are 360 longitudes are there on the globe. We organize the main longitudes into two groups. 0 degree to 180 degree going east, which are the eastern longitudes, and 0 degree to 180 degree going west, which are the western longitudes. And in this picture you can see on the right hand side, that is the eastern hemisphere, there are 0 degree to 180 degree longitudes are there. So they are eastern longitudes, and on the left hand side, that is the western hemisphere, so there are western longitudes are present. Other longitudes have direction markers except 0 degree and 180 degree longitudes. For example, 28 degree E for 28 degree eastern longitude, 120 degree W for 127 degree western longitude, and so on. Now let us see how to draw the meridians of longitude. Draw a circle. The center represents the North Pole and the circumferences will represent the equator. Draw a vertical line through the center of the circle that is crossing the North Pole. This represents the 0 degree and 180 degree meridians which meet at the North Pole. Here in this picture you can see this is the prime meridian and this is the anti-meridian. So both meet at the North Pole. When you look at the map, the east is towards your right and west is towards your left. However, to draw a longitude, imagine that you are on the North Pole, that is at the center of the circle as shown in the figure. Here you can see this is the picture. And observe now the relative directions of east and west would reverse in case of the east would be towards your left while west would be towards your right. Now draw a 45 degree east and west as shown in the figure, second figure. For this, place your protractor along the vertical line coinciding the 0 degree and 180 degree meridians and measure 45 degree on both the sides, which will denote 45 degree eastern meridian and the 45 degree western meridian on your left and right respectively. This is the way how to draw meridians. For each and every degree there will be one meridian. So on the western side there will be 180 meridians and on the eastern side there will be 180 meridians. And in the third picture you can see that one. Here we are going to learn about anti-meridian. Look at this picture. This is the prime meridian. Opposite to that, there is anti-meridian, that is the 180 degree longitude. The anti-meridian is halfway around the world at 180 degrees. The longitude 180 degree, that is directly opposite to 0 degree longitude and called as the anti-meridian. Anti means opposite to. Both prime meridian and anti-meridian together form the great circle that divides the earth into eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere and serves as the meridian on which the international dateline is based. Remember that latitudes and longitudes are imaginary lines. Latitudes are also called parallels because they are parallel to each other. Longitudes are also called meridians. We get meridian from the Latin word meridianus, meaning noon. That is, when the sun is directly overhead at a given longitude, so longitudes are related to time. Now let us move to longitudes and the question of time. We have already studied that there are 360 longitudes are there. That means 360 degree and the total time of a day is 24 hours. So if we divide that 360 with 24, we will get 15 degree. That means in 1 hour, the sun will move 15 degrees. So 1 hour is equal to 15 degree. That means 60 minutes is equal to 15 degree. Therefore, 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes divided by 15. That is 1 degree is equal to 4 minutes. It takes 4 minutes for the sun's position to move 1 degree of longitude. This means that the time is different for each degree of longitude. Now let us explain this concept with an example. When the sun is directly overhead at 10 degree eastern longitude, the local time is 12 noon. That is, at 10 degree eastern longitude, the time will be 12 noon. But it is 11:56 a.m. at the anti-meridian, that is at the 9 degree eastern longitude. That is the longitude just before the 10 degree eastern longitude. And 12:04 p.m. that is a post meridian, that is just after that longitude what comes 11 degree eastern longitude. So in each and every longitude there is different time. Obviously this can cause a lot of confusion. Therefore the world is divided into 24 time zones starting from the Greenwich meridian going east and west. The width of each time zone is 15 degree of longitude. This means the difference between one time zone and the next is 1 hour. That is 15 degree of longitude into 4 minutes, that is equal to 60 minutes. 60 minutes means 1 hour. As you go east from Greenwich meridian, you add time. As you go west to the Greenwich meridian, you subtract time. Look at this picture. This is the Greenwich meridian, and from this if you move to east, that is to the right hand side, you add time. Suppose this is 12, then 13, 14, 15, like that up to 24, up to the anti-meridian. Then if we move to west towards west side, that is to the left hand side, the time decreases. That is from 12 to 11, 10, 9, like that up to 1 when it reaches the anti-meridian. Observe the picture again. When it is noon, that is 12 p.m. in the day on Monday at 0 degree longitude, on the opposite side it is midnight, that is 12 a.m. at the opposite longitude, that is the anti-meridian. Just to the west of 180 degree, the Tuesday is just beginning, while to its east, Monday is just ending. Now let us talk about time and travel. You know that the earth rotates on its axis and longitudes are imaginary lines we have made. Hence, there is a difference in the time as you travel from east to west or west to east. When you are traveling east to west, you gain time of 4 minutes as you cross every longitude. But if you are traveling from west to east, you lose 4 minutes as you cross every longitude. These are referred as EGA and WLS. EGA means east gain add and WLS means west lost subtract. The rate of the time at which the sun traverses over certain degrees of longitudes is used to determine the local time of an area with respect to the time at the prime meridian, that is 0 degree longitude. Let us try to understand the question of the determination of time with respect to the prime meridian with the following set of examples. Example 1. Determine the local time of Thimphu, that is in Bhutan, located at 90 degree east longitude when the time at Greenwich is 12 noon. Statement. The time increases at a rate of 4 minutes per 1 degree of longitude east of the prime meridian. Solution. Difference between Greenwich and Thimphu, that is equal to 90 degree of longitudes. Total time difference is 90 into 4, that is equal to 360 minutes. When we convert that into hours, 360 divided by 60, that is equal to 6 hours. Local time of Thimphu is 6 hours more than at the Greenwich, that is 6 p.m. Example 2. Determine the local time of New Orleans, the place which was worst affected by Katrina hurricane in October 2005. Locate at 90 degree west longitude when the time at Greenwich is 12 noon. Statement. The time decreases at a rate of 4 minutes per 1 degree of longitude west of the prime meridian. Solution. The difference between Greenwich and the New Orleans is equal to 90 degree of longitudes. Total time difference is equal to 90 into 4 is equal to 360 minutes. When we convert that into hours, that is 360 divided by 60 is equal to 6 hours. Local time of New Orleans is 6 hours less than that at the Greenwich, that is 6 a.m. In the same way, the time may be determined for any place in the world. However, In order to maintain uniformity of time as far as possible within the territorial limits of a country, the time at the central meridian of the country is taken as the standard meridian and its local time is taken as the standard time for the whole country. Now, notice that if you follow the calculated time zone boundaries, some countries would have more than one time zone with less than 1 hour division. For example, India would have two half-hour time zones. That means the time between western and eastern parts of India would be different by half hour, with a far-flung northeast even more different. This is considered too complicated to be useful. In such situations, some countries choose the time along one of the meridians that pass through their territory and follow the time of that meridian for the whole country. This time is called standard time. For India, it is Indian Standard Time, that is IST. For Pakistan, it is Pakistan Standard Time, so on. Now, observe this picture clearly. This is the Greenwich Mean Time, otherwise known as GMT, and this is the Indian Standard Time, known as IST. To avoid confusion of time from place to place, 82 degree 30 minutes eastern longitude is taken as the standard meridian of India and serves as the Indian Standard Time, IST. The exact difference between Greenwich and IST is 5.5 hours. Observe the picture. Here you can see the difference between GMT and IST is 5.5 hours. The advantage of this is that in India, for example, wherever you are, it is the same time. For example, you are in Mumbai, the same time. If you are in Arunachal Pradesh, the same time will be there. In countries with a span of large number of longitudes, keeping time is more complex. They may divide their country into more convenient time zones, usually with 1 hour difference between one time zone and the next. But in India, there is only one time zone, that is the IST, Indian Standard Time. Here you can see the map of standard time zones and observe this one, and inside that you can find 24 time zones. All the countries of the world choose the standard meridian within their territory to determine the time within their administrative boundaries. The countries with large east-west span may choose more than one standard meridian to get more than one time zone, such as Russia, Canada, and the United States of America, etc. The world is divided into 24 major time zones. Here you can see all the major time zones in the world. And here you can see 0 degree latitude, that is the prime meridian, and to the right hand side there are 12 time zones, and to the left hand side there are 12 time zones. Now let us go through the important keywords from this lesson. The first word is Big Bang. The Big Bang is how astronomers explain the way the universe began. It is the idea that the universe began as just a single point with a cosmic explosion, then expanded and stretched to grow as large as it is right now, and it is still stretching. Second keyword, grid. A grid is something which is in the pattern of straight lines that cross over each other, forming squares. Grid on Earth is the collective term for the latitudes and longitudes that form an imaginary grid over the Earth's surface. Third keyword, Gondwana. Gondwana, also called Gondwana Land, ancient supercontinent that incorporated present-day South America, Africa, Arabia, Madagascar, India, Australia, and Antarctica, and Gondwana comprised the southern half of this supercontinent. Fourth one, prime meridian. Any line of the longitude, a meridian can serve as the 0 degree longitude line. However, there is an international agreement that the meridian that runs through Greenwich, England is considered as the official prime meridian. Fifth keyword, time zones. A time zone is a region of the earth that has adopted the same standard time, usually referred to as the local time. As the earth rotates on its axis, it moves about 15 degrees every 60 minutes. After 24 hours, it has completed a full rotation of 360 degrees. The scientists used this information to divide the planet into 24 sections or time zones. Each time zone is 15 degrees of longitude wide. Sixth, standard time. Standard time is the synchronization of clocks within the geographical region to a single time standard set in a country by law. These are the most important keywords. Once again, go through this one. Here are some homeworks for you. The activity 1 contains, using your atlas, find out how many standard time zones these countries have. USA, Australia, Russia, Japan, Zimbabwe and Chile. Second, Swati works for a call center in Hyderabad. Her clients are in the USA. She answers clients' questions about the computer problems. She always works during the night. Why is this? Use geography to find out. Next is your brain. When it is 12 noon in Greenwich, 0 degree, what is the local time at Mumbai, that is 73 degree eastern longitude? Then Chicago, 87 degree 30 minutes western longitude, and in Sydney, 151 degree eastern longitude. You have to find their local time based on 12 noon in Greenwich. Now let us move to the activity 2. So in that, first one, find out the locations of the following places with the help of your atlas and write their latitudes and longitudes. The places are Mumbai, Vladivostok, Cairo, New York, Ottawa, Geneva, Johannesburg, Sydney, Jhansi, Abidjan, etc. So what you have to do is take your atlas, move to the index page, then alphabetical order you can find the place names. There you will find the latitude and longitudinal values. And the second one, what would be the time of the following cities if the time at prime meridian is 10 a.m. Observe, the time at prime meridian is 10 a.m. Then what would be the time in Delhi, London, Tokyo, Paris and Moscow? Here the longitudes are not given. You have to find out the longitudes. Then you have to find out the time differences. The local times you have to find out. Hope you understood this session very well and do the activities given at the end of this video as directed. And as part of the interaction, drop a comment and also like the video. Let us meet again with a new video. Till then, bye. Thank you.